This is a topic that's always just lingering in Chinese culture, just like the sensitivity over like how many artifacts were like looted overseas.
Wait, so people generally know about it in China? They know that there's heaps of looted stuff?
Yes, and then it's definitely very alive in the cultural consciousness, and yeah, people are aware and people are mad about it.
Do you think that shapes the way China views other countries now? Do you think it still has an impact?
It definitely does. Just imagine, like, you were the dominant power in the region for like 2,000 years. You thought that you were like the greatest civilization ever, and then suddenly, in the span of like 100 years, you lose like so many wars, and you get your territory like taken by a bunch of white people, and the Japanese too. Let's not forget them. And it is just like so much. It's a whole trauma conga line. Just the culmination of the Boxer Rebellion and that entire century of humiliation, as Chinese culture calls it. I'm not saying this to excuse the Chinese government's current actions, but I do feel like Chinese people still suffer from a lot of lingering colonial trauma.
In truth, if you see a piece of Chinese art in a Western museum, then there is a decent chance that it is there because of some British or other imperial sailor. And to millions of Chinese people, each piece is a reminder of that century of humiliation.
There's no shortage of countries that have been looted exactly the same way, but the difference is this. China is one of the few nations in the world that can actually do something about it.
This is Dr. Emiline Smith, and even though we're meeting in Glasgow, Scotland, her main job is as a criminologist travelling through Asia looking for looted and trafficked art.
The objects that come from China that are sprinkled all throughout the global north, how are they viewed within China? Do they want them back? Are they viewed as problematic within China?
Where cultural objects were previously seen as sort of symbols of an oppressive or undesired past, now cultural objects are very much seen as symbols to establish this new national identity. So yes, obviously, China wants them back.
And yeah, they're definitely trying to get those back. I hear stories all the time about like really rich Chinese people who go to these auctions to buy the artifacts back just to like donate it to the country again. Or they just get it back, and then because it's in the hands of a Chinese person again, they're happy about that.
What China is doing is really exceptional because it doesn't take the long route of perhaps court cases and ethical claims to repatriate its heritage. Instead, it's buying it back because it has the political willpower as well as the financial power to restore these cultural objects. And in that sense, it is perhaps a little bit threatening to the European foundations of the antiquities trade because China is redefining the rules of engagement.